What's going on YouTube? It is 116 Gaming, and today we are going to be starting my new series. Going to be starting my new series. A few notes to point out. I have a few new playlists in my playlist section. Some of those are bots openings. I will be starting Y Swartz bots openings and Yu-Gi-Oh bots openings pretty soon. I will be starting a couple new series, such as this one, which this is officially called the Annals of Archetypes. So if you're familiar with Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh, you know about his Archetype Archive. This is the more serious side of things and a little more in depth and more for more competitive players. This is definitely an inspiration. I definitely got the inspiration for him, and I was doing this on my old channel too, called Archetype Annals. But I think Annals of Archetypes is a better name. Anyway, today, if you know me personally, you know my favorite deck, and today we are going to be starting that off. So here's how the format of each video will be. I will give the release date and the set that it was released in, the variants that have been played, what it has done competitively over its life, and then I will go over individually each card, and then I will give a deck list at the end of the video. So, beginning today, it is Madolche. Of course, this is my favorite deck of all time, and I had to start it off. So, a little about Madolche. Madolche was released, the first set was August 28th, 2012, and the set Return to the Duelist. I'm not going to go over the cards that were released, that's just when it first released. I have been playing the deck since that time, so I've been playing for over 12 years now. Well, around 12 years at this point, and I have seen many variants of this deck. I've seen Pure Madolche, Brilliant Madolche, True Draco Madolche, which I piloted to a UDS win in 2017. I've tried Pendulum Madolche, Fairy Madolche, Synchro Madolche, Ubel Madolche. I've tried the Hand Madolche. I've tried many variants and just about every variant of Madolche you can have, including the newer versions like Horse Madolche, Snake Eye Madolche. Well, not Snake Eye, but the Diabell Star engine. But yes, I prefer the Pure Madolche, but the version I am playing, and this is pure, with some hand traps, obviously. I like the Horus Madolche as well. It is a pretty interesting deck. I do pretty well with it, but I have switched back over to Pure Madolche with hand traps because hand traps are really important right now. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get into each card and its detail. But before I do that, I have to say, this deck has been fairly competitive ever since Tiramisu, Queen Tiramisu and Angeli have been around, which have been Primal Origin and Abyss Rising and Primal Origin respectively. Those two cards really leveled this deck's playing field. Angeli is a 1-card starter. Tiramisu is a rank 4 that shuffles 2 cards back into the deck without targeting. So it's really powerful. In fact, I still don't think it's been power crept by anything actually worth mentioning. But anyway, let's get into the deck, and then I'll show you the deck list at the end. So the first card we have is Madolche Pudding Cess. It's a Earth Fairy level 5 with 1,000 attack and defense. Gains 800 attack and defense while you have no monsters in your grave. If this card is in your possession, is destroyed by opponent's card effect or card and sent to your grave, shuffle this card into the deck. After damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. I used to not run this card at all because I was like, oh, rank level 5, what am I going to do with that? And then the new Petincessor came out. So this card is way more useful now because Petincessor lowers level. So this is another level 4 essentially. I played 2 in the build that I'm gonna show you. But this card's pretty decent. If it does combat with anything, with a monster, it just pops a card on the field. So that's really good. It's spot removal, and because Madolches try to tend to put themselves back in the deck and recycle other monsters, actually, in fact. This get 800 attack and defense along with Chateau. That's a 13. This thing can get really beefy really quickly, just through its effects and certain cards. So yeah, like I said, I run 2 because it's really useful now. And a la mode has an effect with her. If she has it, she can do something extra. But anyway, Madolche Chevalier. It's a level 4 Earth Warrior, 17 attack, 13 defense. When this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, and sent to your grave, shuffle this card into your deck. Your opponent cannot target face-up Madolche monsters for attack to set up this card. Each Madolche card, main deck, has the shuffle into the deck if it's destroyed by battle or card effect. So I'm just going to stop reading those effects. This one, it says you cannot target it, except you cannot target other face-up Madolches except for this one. This card is pretty terrible. There may have been a time I would have played it if it was better, but unfortunately this card was just never good enough. This is not the level 4 warrior you want. This is not the warrior you want to be running in this deck. In fact, Messengelado is the warrior that you want to be running. Messengelado, Earth level 4 warrior, 16 attack, 1000 defense. When this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Madolche spell trap from your deck to your hand. You must control a face-up Madolche beast monster to activate this and to resolve this effect. So, the beast that you are going to play with this card is Hoopcake at 3 and Mufueli either at 2 or 3. I play 3 because I'm a madman, but because I want to see it and be able to get Angeli, Petincessor, and Gelato off. But yeah, so you can search for Salon, which is the new continuous spell, which lets you normal summon again, Ticket, Chateau, and Promenade, all the good Madolche, all the good Madolche stuff. So this is definitely a 3 of, and it's not once per turn. So theoretically, you could do this 3 times in a turn, or even more if you had a way of doing it. Yeah, this card is a definitely staple 3 of. I've seen people say they should run 2, but 3, and it helps. It gets to 21 attack with Chateau. So this is definitely a card that you want to have on the field to OTK. Unlike this next card, you can, when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. There must be another face-up Madolche on the field to activate this effect. And resolve this effect. So with Gelato, you have 3 of them. Chateau is usually only a 1 of. I only played 1 of it. There was a time I was playing 2, but I decided no, 1 is better because it's searchable and technically recyclable. So with just 3 Gelatos, you don't even need the Butler Rusk. It's a spellcaster, so that's kind of weird now that I think about it. But anyway, you don't really need it because we don't even play terraforming. Like, even if we played 3 Chateau, we still wouldn't play terraforming because we just have so many ways we have a consistent way of searching for Chateau, so there's just be no point. This card is okay, I guess. Back in the day when terraforming was running rampant, even if you played that, you still would probably play 1 of these just because it could be a 2000 body, which could help OTK. The deck is more of an OTK deck now than then, because back then you had a lot of other stuff to worry about. You didn't have some of the combo cards you have now, like the next card, which is Petincessor. If you have no monsters in the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is one reason why it is a combo starter. This and Angeli and Hoot and Mufuele can really start off combos. And technically Madeline can if you search for this. So there's a lot of cards that can start combos in this deck now. And this is another 3 of today, especially because this card is... It locks you in the special summons of Madolche's only, but let's continue. If this card is special summon, you can special summon one Madolche monster from your hand or deck, except itself, and if you do, reduce its level by 1. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Madolche's. So you see what I mean? So you special this, you special summon like an Angeli or a Hoot, depending on your grave, and then you tribute Angeli to special Hoot, or you special Hoot to banish from the grave, to special like Angeli, which continues off your line, which can then get you a gelato. So this card can really start off a number of lines that you can do, and most of those lines are going to get you an OTK if you can put up at least a tiramisu on the board, and your opponent don't have more than 2 monsters, you're gonna OTK if they don't have any responses. This card's definitely 3 of now. It's a staple at this point. It's a level 4 Earth Fairy, 14 and 14. So yeah, this is definitely a very good card. This was a really good support card, and I'm surprised it's an ultra and it's not kind of expensive. So, anyway. One of the OG searchers that people were like, why is Stratos banned but not this is banned, is Madeline. This is literally just a Stratos from Madolche. I'm glad Konami didn't decide to hit this ever, because this is literally a better Stratos. Because not only is it not once per turn, but it recycles itself as all Madolches, and you search for any Madolche monster from your deck to hand. I think Stratos is once per turn. So I think... Oh no, Stratos is not once per turn. Okay, well, Magellan is still better because it's a better deck. I would argue that Madolches are a better deck than Heroes have ever been. Heroes are just... Elemental Heroes are just got the anime ring to them because they're anime. But anyway, yeah, this card is definitely really good. The artwork is really pretty as well. It's a level 4 Earth Spellcaster, which is not a lot in the game, I don't think, that are actually decent. It's 14 and 1200. But yeah, Angeli, like I said, this card came out in Primal Origin. This card is bananas. Was insane. This used to cost almost a month's rent just for a playset. Remember when I picked these up, it hurt my wallet for a good couple weeks. But this is definitely a card you want to play 3 of, just like Madeline. Another thing about Madeline, you could technically play... You definitely want 3 because it deck thins if you keep searching itself. But with Petting Cessor, 3 Angeli, and Hoot Cake and Cat, you definitely want to play 3. So if you have Salon, you could search twice and go off insane stuff. But anyway, back to Angeli. Where is it? You attribute this card, special summon 1 Madolche from your deck, and if you do, it cannot be destroyed by battle, but shuffle it into the deck during the end phase of your next turn. You can only use this effect of Madolche Angeli once per turn. So if you normal Cat, special Angeli, special Hoot, banish Angeli, special Gelato, add Salon, and then continue to go off on your plays like a Petting Cessor. That's one line you could do, or you could do another different line. You could tribute Angeli to bring out Petting Cessor, and then continue the line that way. This card is the starter of the deck. It's the OG starter of the deck. So yeah, this card is still my favorite Madolche of all time. It's, well, main deck at least. You definitely gotta play 3 of. Marmalade is not even that relevant. When this is flipped face up, you can target 1 spell card, Madolche spell trap in your grave, add that target to your hand. The deck does recycling, so to set a card just to waste it is it's not relevant. It's not good. Croissant. Once per turn, you can target one face-up Madolche card, accept this, return it to the hand. If you do, increase this card's level by 1, and attack 100 by 300. This is, again, not relevant. This is one of the worst ones. And cute artwork, though. Hoot Cake, this guy right here does some work. You can target one monster in your grave, banish it, and if you do, special summon a Madolche from your deck, except itself. You can only use this effect once per turn. So normally you would banish something like an Angeli, or usually it's going to be an Angeli or even a hand trap, because it just says monster. So on I usually just try to banish a hand trap if I can, but if not, Madolche, any Madolche monster could work. I try to make it the pudding cess if I have to do a Madolche. But this card is the second piece to the combo if you go into the Angeli line, and it's usually the third one if you go into the Petting Cessor line. So yeah, this is definitely a staple 3 off. This card is Lord of Tachyon Galaxy. No, Legacy. I can't remember what it said. It's LTGY. I think it's Legacy of the Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy. I can't remember the set, but this card was this card was pretty good. This card is still good. It's a 3 off. Chicolettes, once per turn when the battle position of a Madolche monster you control is changed, and now it face up, so it works with the flip effect ones. The flip ones. While this card is face up, you can target monster on the field, change it to face up defense, and if you do, unless it is a Madolche, it cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. This card is actually kind of okay back in the day, because you could use Marmalade or Butler-esque or even freaking Mageline to do their effects and then trigger this, and it could actually help you get over big boss monsters. But nowadays, you just have Queen and all these other outs. So this card was good, but it just got replaced by time. If you do want to play it, I'd play 1, because it's, like I said, it's just not as relevant, but it is decent. Cat and your foily. If this card is normal summon, you get special 1 Madolche from your hand. This works really well with Petting Cessor, Angeli, or Hoot Cake, or Gelato. Gelato lets you search for spell trap. Petting Cessor activates its effect without having activated in the hand, which helps get around some cards. Angeli lets you just not. Angeli lets you get a nudge to monster on board for just 1 summon, and Hoot Cake helps you, obviously continue your play. Start that route. That is an old route. You foily the Hoot and have to banish something, but with hand traps and the cycling, you're probably not going to have to rely on that that much. If you have a cat and a level 4 in your hand and you have a Hoot, you have at least a rank 4 on top of your fresh to start if you want to make it. So that's not a bad idea, but I play 3 because I know what I'm doing. And I like seeing as much as I can, because this card is really comes in handy when you only play 2. You need the third one. I've never actually drawn more than 1 in a hand and not needed it, because if anything, I just set it and let it get shuffled back so I can get it back into the deck, or I use it for discard. Bapple. You can target 1 attack position Madolche monster you control and face up position monster your opponent controls. If both monsters are still, change them to face up defense. And if you do, the one changed by this effect cannot have their battle positions change until the end of the opponent's next turn. This card is just garbage, and the name is even stupider, Bapple. Bapple. But no, this card is bad. Don't play it. Now we're getting on to the 3 spells, all of which are at least played at 1. Ticket, I play at 2. When a Madolche card is returned from your side of the field or grave to your hand or main deck by a card effect. Card effect. Notice it said card effect, doesn't say Madolche effect. Add 1 Madolche monster from your deck to your hand if you control a face-up fairy, which is going to be Pudding Cess, Petting Cess, or a Tiramisu, or the Sistart. You can special summon the monster from your deck and face-up attack instead. You can only use the effect of Madolche Ticket once per turn. This card's really good. It can help you put a monster in OTK potential, or if you want to add it to your hand, you can set up for next turn. So it's really personal choice. But I play 2 because, again, I know what I'm doing. Madolche Salon, you definitely want to play 3 if you want to see it as much. I've had people ask why not play 2? Because it's searchable, but I will tell them, even though it's searchable, I'd rather search for some of the traps of the other 2 spells rather than search for this, because Chateau is only at 1, and I play it at 1, and Ticket I play at 2. So this is at 3, so this is more likely I'm going to see one of these before I see the other 2 in my opening hand. Anyway, this lets you normal summon during your main phase one Madolche monster in addition to your normal summon. You control, if another Madolche you control or in your grave is added to your hand or by main deck or your main deck by a card effect, so Ticket or it's any other Madolche card. Set 1 spell Madolche spell trap directly from your deck, except itself. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this can help you get Chateau, this can help you get Ticket, and everything else. And there's some 2 decent traps. There's 1 decent trap that you could search for with this, and another mid, and another one that used to be relevant, but I just don't think is good anymore. Anyway, Madolche Chateau field spell. When this card is activated, shuffle all Madolche monsters in your grave, if any, into the deck. So this triggers both Ticket and Salon. All Madolche monsters in the field gain 5 attack and defense. If a monster in your grave would be returned to the deck by the effect of a Madolche monster, you can add it to your hand instead. No, that effect is not once per turn, and that's always been like an underappreciated effect, because you can just add stuff back to your hand from your grave, and it's just like, oh, you're destroying it, but it's going right back to my hand, so you can keep filling up your hand with stuff. All right, so we're gonna speed through these traps because most of them are terrible. Madolche lesson: target 1 Madolche in your grave, shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, all Madolche monsters you currently control gain 800 attack and defense. Then you can shuffle 1 other monster from your grave into the deck. I have been playing 1 lately because it is decent. It helps you OTK, and you can shuffle something into the deck that maybe a Tiramisu wasn't be able to. Maybe you had 3 Madolches and you can only do 2, and you have a play with Petting Assessor next turn. So this is shuffle that and any of the hand traps you play into the deck. So I play 1, but you don't have to. Madolche Palooza used to be really good. It used to be played at 2. 1 to 2, special summon any number of Madolche monsters from your hand, but shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. This card is still decent. I mean, you could special summon, theoretically, you could special summon like 4 cards from your hand, make Sistart and a Tiramisu and do stuff, but it's a trap, and in today's game, Heartbeat's Feather Duster, and like, it just, not even Heartbeat's Feather Dust, just negations. This card is okay, but not. I don't play it anymore. Let's just say that. Madolche Promenade, which is probably the best trap in the deck right now. Target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and 1 Madolche monster you control in your grave. Negate the effect of that opponent's card until the end of this turn. If you do, return your monster to your hand. So, activation of your stuff and negation of your opponent's. Nice. You can banish this card from your grave and target 1 Madolche at Z monster you control. Attach 1 Madolche monster from your hand, deck, or grave to it as material. You can only use this 1 Promenade effect per turn, and only once that turn. So this card can help you put a pudding cess on Tiramisu, which makes pudding a la mode, which has an effect. So that's its big key thing, or you could just add another resource to teacher or, Tiramisu or a la mode. I mean, you could pick any Madolche, but most of the time I go for pudding cess because it says from your hand, deck, or grave, so literally anywhere but the banishment. Madolche Waltz is terrible. Each time a Madolche monster you control attacks or is attacked after damage calc, inflict 300 to your opponent. Ooh, burn damage, yay. Not something you see a lot in this deck, which is actually quite nice to see, but this card is... I've played one of them before to help with OTK, but then I was, starting out with this card. It was, it's a new Madolche card, I gotta play it. So I did that, and then I realized it was bad. The two counter traps in this deck are okay. For my build, I don't play them, but technically I could because I play Pudding Cess. And since I play more than one, I could technically get away with playing one of each of these. But anyway, T-Break negates spell and trap cards if I control a Pudding Cess. It negates and returns to the hand. Then if I control face up Madolche Pudding Cess, I can destroy a card on the field my opponent controls. So that's not bad. Well, it says one card, not face up. Sorry. So it's not bad, but you have to be playing Pudding Cess to even get its effect to second effect. But you also have to have no monsters in your grave to resolve this, which is pretty consistent now, but it's still not something you should worth running. The next card, Madolche Knights, is something that would be more considerate, considering when a monster effect is activated, if you have no monsters in your grave, negate, control Pudding Cess, shuffle one random card from your opponent's hand into the deck. So this is more relevant than T-Break right now because it's a monster effect negation and it's a counter trap. And it shuffles a random card from your opponent's hand into the deck. So that's pretty important in these trying times. Alright, so the extra deck monsters are all playable. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this real quick. Alamo, 2 level 5 Earths. It's an Earth Fairy, 2500, 22 defense. You can also exceed summon this card by using rank 4 lower Madolche monster, so Tiramisu or Teacher, obviously. Once per turn, you can target one Madolche card in your grave, shuffle into the deck. While this card has Madolche Pudding Cess as material, when a Madolche card in your grave is returned to the main deck, except during the damage step, you can detach one material from this card, special summon one Madolche monster from your deck in attack position or face down defense. I love how when this came out on Cross Souls, if I remember correctly, that they thought people actually played those cards that had the flip thing or the flip effects. Yeah, I think that was just oversight because that implies Konami thought people were actually playing them, which made me think that they thought they were actually good. But no, you definitely want to at least play one of these because you can make this from time to time to get its extra effect, at least in my build. Madolche Queen Tiramisu, which is probably one of the most nastiest rank 4s in the game because it's non-targeting removal that spins it to the deck and it's non-targeting. Anyway, 2 level 4 Madolches. It's a level rank 4 Earth Fairy, 22 attack, 21 defense. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card and target up to 2 Madolche cards in your grave. Shuffle those cards into the deck. Also, shuffle cards your opponent controls into the deck up to the number of Madolche cards returned to the hand or deck as a result. Wow. You might think, well, that's really good. And you're right, because that is an effect that has not been power capped, as to my knowledge. And you always want to play at least 1 or 2 of these. I play 3 because, again, I'm insane. But the version I'm going to show y'all isn't... The extra deck is base for now because I'm still trying to work on my build for YCS Raleigh. So you're going to only see 2, but I usually play 3. I have like 30 copies of this in my binder right now, the secret rare. So... I love this card. This is technically my favorite Madolche card. And Angeli's, like I said, my favorite main deck. Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle, level rank 4 Earth. I don't know why I keep saying level. Rank 4 Earth Fairy, 18 and 25. Quick effect. You can detach one material from this card. Then target one Madolche monster on the field this turn. That face-up monster is unaffected by monster effects except its own. If a Madolche card is sent to your grave while this card is on the field, you can shuffle up to 2 cards from the graves into the decks. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. So this can make stuff unaffected by effects, monster effects. You can also shuffle up to 2 cards from graves into the deck. So if your opponent's playing something stupid like Phantom Nightmare, well, not Phantom Nightmare, Gimmick Puppet Nightmare or something that does stuff in the grave. Oh, by the way, spin. So yeah, this is and that you want to play one of. I play one. I hardly ever make her though, unless I'm playing someone who's actually playing like Nightmare or something ridiculous. But other than that, I really don't make it. And the final card of the deck for now is the Link Monster Madolche Fresh Sistar. It's a Link 2 Earth Fairy, 15 attack, bottom left, bottom right, 2 Madolche monsters. While this card points to a Madolche monster, Madolche spell trap cards you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can target them with card effects. If this card is on the field, while it would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can shuffle one Madolche monster from your grave into the deck. On my old channel, I did a video about why this card is not a bad card. First of all, it protects itself and it protects your spells and traps. And it can get really big with the trap and the field spell. So it can get really big. And it prevents your opponent from targeting. So Harpy's Feather Duster doesn't do anything. MST doesn't do anything. Cosmic Cyclones don't do anything. So they have to find a way to non-target banish or non-target your spells and traps. So without destroying them. So yeah, that's kind of I mean, it's possible, and some decks can do it, but most of the time I play against people who either don't or just can't. But anyway, guys, let me go take you to my Madolche deck real quick. I don't know why I just did that. My Madolche deck right now is sitting at 40 cards and sits in the extra and 9 possible extra deck. But we're going to look at the main deck. This is my version right now. 3 Nib, 2 Pudding Cess, 3 Gelato, 3 Padding Cessor, 3 Mageline, 3 Jellies, 3 Hoots, 3 Cats, 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Pot of Prosperities, 2 Ticket, 3 Salon, 1 Snatch Steal, which actually won me a game a couple days ago, 1 Chateau, 1 Lesson, 1 Promenade, and 2 Solemn Strikes. I'm probably going to take out Lesson and put a 3rd Solemn Strike in, because Solemn Strike is actually seeing a little bit more play right now, because it's a good card. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up playing that. 1 Alamo, 2 Tiramisu, a Teacher, and 2 Sistart. I think this is a decent build. I will have to play around with what's relevant after this ban list. This is just pre-ban list Madolche. After the new ban list, I hopefully don't have to play as many hand traps. I know I'm only playing 6, probably the two best ones right now. But I do want to take the nibs out and put them side deck, but I don't really have a way. Don't really know what I want to put in the extra 3 cards. Pot of Prosperity. I kind of want to play like the Masquerena, SP, and Asa just for the Pot of Prosperity. That way I have at least 3 guaranteed. I don't need to banish 6. But anyway, guys, that is my version. Anyway. Whew, that's a long video. 34 minutes. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the beginning of the series. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you want to see next as the series. I'm open to suggestions. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get well known so I can get, better content out. When I move out to Hawaii in a couple months, I am going to try to have my own computer set up so I can actually make better content. So please, please, please give me a like and subscribe, and I promise you we will get there one day. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Adios.